Well, hi everybody. Let's go, eh? So today guys, it's a Thursday, it's a night, it's 6 o'clock. You know what that means? Bike night up at Whitchurch. Now I do frequently, it is quite away from my house, so it's about an hour and 10, an hour and 15 minutes even on a bike. The reason why I do frequent this place is obviously because of the people. There's some lovely people up there I talk to regular, but it's where the most bikes go to hang out on a bike night, I think, that I've seen. So I come up here because there are hundreds of bikes, loads to look at, every model under the sun, and there's nothing I like better than looking around other people's bikes and seeing what they've done with them, and or what they haven't, if they've just left them to rot, you know, all that kind of stuff. So those are the reasons why I go up here. There's Mar Baker's is a great cafe as well. Dave's a lovely guy who owns the place. All the staff there are fantastic. So all in all, and with the A41 as well, so you got the A41, which is a nice big road, but it's a bit windy. So what was I saying? All that, when you put it together, makes for a very, very appealing package indeed. Oh, matron. So A41, great people, great bikes, nice weather obviously if you can get that. All together it makes for a very appealing night out, and so it is worth the journey for me. So that's the reason why I like to go up here, because I could always go down the Food Stop Cafe, but actually I think that shuts quite early, so I'm not sure if that's really an option on a Thursday night. I'll have to check. So yeah, that's why I got Whitchurch really on a Thursday night and nowhere else. So unless someone tells me there's anything better and all my buddies are going to be there, then I'll keep going. Man, it's so incredibly windy out here. It's just totally open, isn't it? Fields either side. So there is a subject I did want to talk to you guys about, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that because you won't hear a thing I'm saying if I go over 30 mile an hour. So I might do that when we get there, or I might do it on another vid. But shall I give it a go anyway? I'll sort of do it in spits and spats. So I think I alluded to it in the last video where I gave up smoking recently. So this may help you, it may not. This is not advice, this is just, you know, how I did it sort of thing. But I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 13 years old, and I'm now 50. So, you know, that's a hell of a lot of years to be putting all that junk into your lungs. But I decided one day that, so 3 years ago, I decided that I didn't want to smoke cigarettes anymore. So for some reason, and I think I know the reason, I was able to get off cigarettes very fast. So I woke up one morning, not going to do that anymore. I was sick of the smell on my fingers and on my clothes and on my breath. It was just horrible things. So I decided one morning I ain't going to do that anymore, and I didn't. So I stopped, and stopped dead. And I can't remember wanting another cigarette after I stopped, which is really weird to say, isn't it? But what happened then, so a month later, about a month later, I went to some party somewhere, and somebody had a packet of Hamlet cigars, the little miniature cigars, and I used to love them. I used to have them occasionally as well. I love them, and unfortunately I had a couple that night, and that was it. I really enjoyed those cigars, and I went out and bought a packet of them. And so for the last 3 years I've been smoking Hamlet cigars, which is even worse, isn't it? really, man? This is becoming impossible. Can't hear myself think. Anyway, so if we crank forward to about a year ago, a little over a year ago, you know, when the pandemic started, all that rubbish, I woke up really ill one day, and I'm not a sicky person. I've had very few days off work in my life. Never really been a sicky person, apart from colds and stuff like that. But I woke up extremely ill one morning, and I had all the symptoms under the sun, and they was all in my head. So dizziness, I couldn't lift my head, I thought it was a migraine. Felt sick, my ears weren't working properly, my eyes were blurred, you know, all the good stuff like that. And so, fearing the worst, I went off for a brain scan, because obviously you do fear the worst. I literally, I had to cancel the appointments a few times. I couldn't get there, so I felt so bad. The symptoms weren't going away, they were getting worse and worse. Went and eventually got my scan. In fact, it was quite quick. I got there quite quick, probably to second attempt, third attempt. And they said there was nothing wrong in the brain. But what they did do, they scanned my neck as well, and they said I had severe trauma on my C5, 6 and 7, I think they said, something like that. So upper spine really, and the symptoms that I was feeling, or I was having, were most likely down to the fact that I had pinched nerves in my spinal column, and the spinal cord itself is struggling in the space that's available in my spine. And I've always had a problem looking up. So since I came out of the army when I was a young kid, I've always seemed to have had a problem looking up. But I was super fit back then, super fit. And I had overdeveloped muscles in my neck, my back, you know, all that kind of stuff. I always put it down to that, just the muscles were in the way. But no, obviously not. I obviously had a problem in my neck. So long story short, I need to have a major operation. And I know I'm going off track here, but this is what's kick-started it off for me, the stopping smoking saga. But let's continue that discussion in a moment, because we're here there. Let's see what bikes we've got there. Anyway, here we are. Wow, it's a good turnout. Shiny bikes. I haven't cleaned mine again. I've got to clean it. So let's go and get something to eat and a little drinky poos, and I'll catch you in a moment. that was a great meetup, man. There was tons there tonight. Really enjoyed that. So anyway, as I was saying, and going a really long way around about saying it, so for me, I've got to have quite a major operation. I've never been in hospital before, and I want to give myself the best chance of recovery. There's a lot riding on me recovering from that, you know, family responsibilities, all that kind of stuff. So I want to make sure I give myself the best chance of getting well and getting well fast, and obviously I want to make sure that I'm going to wake up. So the first step to getting fit again is obviously quitting the cigarettes and the cigars. So a year ago, when I was diagnosed with the problem I've got, unavoidable, got to have an operation, so I decided that was my trigger to give up. But it wasn't until, I think it's about a month ago now, that I thought, okay, and this is the way I did it. I just said to myself, when these run out, I'm not going to buy any more. That's all I said, and I think that's how I did the cigarettes as well. So I thought, I had 2 packs of Hamlet cigars left, and I thought, when they're gone, that'll be the last things that I smoke. And that day came about a month ago, and that was it. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, it's been extremely difficult. So it's really windy, isn't it? It has been extremely difficult, but I went out and got myself a vape, which has helped immensely, but still it is very hard, and it's hard every day. And every time I feel like I want to go out and buy some, I just say to myself, I don't do that anymore, you don't do that anymore, you don't do that anymore. I just keep saying that to myself over and over again. Come on Dave, you don't do that anymore. You know, there's other things that you want in life that you want to buy. Save your money and have a drawer on your vape. So you know, if you take my experience, then maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't, I don't know. I mean, you can give up using patches, whatever you decide, but if you're thinking about giving up, don't kid yourself. Yeah, so I'm being honest with you, you be honest with yourself. Don't say to other people or to yourself, oh, I could give up any time I want, because you and I know that that's not true. Most addictive substance on the planet, it's bullshit. So don't say it, stop lying to yourself. It is difficult to give it up and admit that. And if you're going to do it, my recommendation, and it's only a recommendation, would be do it yourself. Do it in your own time. There's no pressure to do it. If you don't tell anyone, then you're not going to let anybody else down. You've got no pressure. You can take your time, little baby steps, and do it in your own good time. That's my recommendation to you. And then if you succeed, you know, fantastic, then you can tell people, oh, I haven't had a cigarette for a month. But if you slip, you know, don't beat yourself up, but at least you've only let yourself down there. You know, nobody else was relying on you giving up, was they? So that's my recommendation, is just keep it to yourself, see if you can do it. If you're the type of person who needs support, then by all means reach out, get support. If you've got a friend you can do it with, then obviously quit with a friend gives you double the chance. But that's how I did it. I just quietly did it myself. I ran out of cigars, didn't buy any more, and I've been vaping ever since. And my next step, so like I said, baby steps, little steps. So my next step is to quit the vape, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come down on the nicotine over a period of a couple of months, and get down until finally I'm on just one lot of nicotine or none, and then I'm going to come off the vape. So a lot of people don't realise, or maybe you don't think of it this way, but smoking is a twofold thing. You've got the addiction to the substance that's in smoke, you know, the nicotine. So you've got the addiction to that, but you've also got the habit of hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth, and they're both very difficult to stop. So like I say, baby steps. See if you can get off the nicotine first. This is what I'm going to do. So my recommendation is see if you can get yourself off the nicotine after you've stopped the cigarettes, or maybe still vape, because you'll be trying to do two things at once. You'll be trying to give up the nicotine and also give up the habit of hand to mouth if you don't vape. So that's why vapes are good, in my opinion, because you can slowly wean yourself off the nicotine without too many adverse side effects, but you've still got the behaviour of hand to mouth. And then the last step for me is stopping that behaviour of doing something with my hand all the time, or you know, whenever I feel the need, go out, hand to mouth, and that is going to be very, very difficult to give up. So it is going to be extremely hard to put the vape down and to not use it. So that will be my final step, is stopping the behavioural habit that I have. So yeah, think of it like that, and if you break it down, there are many steps you can do yourself to get yourself off it. But I'm not telling you to quit smoking. You do you. You know, you do what you want to do. It's your life, it's my life as well. I've been smoking since I was 13. I do what the hell I like. You do what the hell you like. But if what you like is wanting to come off cigarettes or cigars or whatever you're smoking, then you can do it. You really can do it. It does take willpower, no matter which way you choose to do it, but you really do, as a human, have it in you to stop doing what you're doing, if that's what you want to do. If you don't, then kudos to you. You be you, you do what you want to do. Hey, there's a song. Okay, so I'm not trying to convince you to stop. I'm just letting you know I wanted to stop, and I want to get healthy, or as healthy as I can before my operation. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm trying to stop smoking. I've got lots and lots of little baby steps, because my next steps after that are to get myself fit. So I need to get fit, and I want to get fit. So that's what I'm going to replace the smoking with: exercise. So there is another side effect to quitting smoking, and this one goes under the radar a little bit. Not many people talk about it, but it's 100% true, and I'm going to say this is true for everyone who gives up smoking. So when you try and give up the cigarettes or the cigars, even if you go on a vape, you do want to eat and eat and eat. And I'm not overstating that. All day, because you're not thinking about smoking anymore, and you're worried about it, and it's stressing you out because, you know, you're giving up, but you really want a cigarette. You naturally replace that with something else, and I'm sure 100% of the time with people that's food. So usually when I'm thinking, oh god, I don't know what to do with my hands, or I don't know what to do, and you know, usually I'll be going out for a cigarette now with my mate, or because I've got a break at work. And because I don't do that anymore, and I'm saying to myself, you don't do that anymore, Dave, what I do is I go and get a biscuit or a chocolate or some crisps, and it's not because I'm hungry. I don't know what it is, it's weird. I just want to stuff something in my face, and I can't stuff a cigarette in there, so I'm going to stuff a bag of crisps. It's really strange. So if you are going to give up, just watch out for that side effect, which is you'll absolutely, definitely want to just eat and eat and eat. And that's another thing that's hard not to do. So not only are you giving up the nicotine and the habit of hand to mouth, you've also got to try and stop yourself from just feeding all the time. And I think these things combined is why it's so difficult to give up smoking. It's not just the nicotine, it's all the rest of it that's around it. But there you go. I know I've gone on a little bit and it's really windy, so I apologise for that. I think it's important I get that message out there as to how I'm doing it. So I think, to summarise with my experience then, I hope this helps you. You know, if it is something you're thinking of doing, then don't just say to yourself, I can't stress this enough, don't just say to yourself, do you know, I might give that a go tomorrow, because your heart's not in it you're just maybe going to do it, and even if you do try, chances are you're going to fail. You want to give yourself the best chance to succeed, and the way you do that is the first step. The very first step is, do you want to give up smoking? I mean, do you really want to give it up? Because if you're half and half, or if there's part of you that thinks, no, I enjoy it too much, like me with my Hamlet cigars, that's why I smoked them for 3 years, then the chances are you're going to hate it. It's going to be the worst thing that you could do. So you've got to really want to do this. Once you've got that step out of the way, and you've switched something on in your brain that says, right, I'm going to have a go at that 100%, yeah, not 50%, I'm going to have a go at that. The next step would be to plan how you're going to do it. So you might want to do it with friends, you know, someone might want to give up with you, or you might need the support of your family, you know, you could do that as well. But as I say, the way I did it was, I told myself, I didn't set a date, I just said to myself, I'm not going to buy any more when these run out. So for me then, what it meant for me was that I had 2 or 3 packs of cigars left, which in normal operational running, that would last me 3 or 4 days. But because I knew I weren't going to buy any more, already I was struggling, so I actually reduced the amount of cigars I was smoking so that I could keep them for longer, if that makes sense. So already right at the beginning, my head was starting to panic because I told it I weren't going to buy any more. So I was going longer between cigars in the hope that I'd keep them for a lot longer, and in reality they did last me about 6 days, those 2 or 3 packs. So for another 6 days I had cigars. So I wasn't going to stop before that. I'd already made my plan, and that's my point, make your plan. So I'd made my plan and I was sticking to it. Didn't care whether I had these cigars for 3 weeks, made no difference. My plan was, once they'd run out, I wasn't going to replace them or buy any more, and I stuck to that regime. And then the one day I happened to run out, I think it was in the afternoon, midweek on an afternoon, and I was in work. I was working from home, but doing work, and that was it. And I could have quite easily have gone down the shop, bought some more, and I nearly did, but I said to myself, you don't do that anymore, Dave. So all I kept saying to myself, and it worked, I managed to get off them. But what I did do, I got in my car, got up the vape shop, asked him to sort me out with a good vape, some good juice, the right amount of nicotine in them for what I was trying to do, and away I went, and I haven't looked back. It's been very, very difficult, but I haven't looked back. So yeah, I'm on a vape with 3 milligrams of nicotine in at the moment, which doesn't cut it, I can tell you that now. It's still very difficult. So that's it really. Sun's going down now, it's 9:01. I'm a bit late getting back. So yeah, my next steps are to break the habit of hand to mouth. So I've got to come down off the nicotine and stop using the vape, and then once I've done that, I've already started doing little bits of exercise, but man, I get out of breath so quickly these days, and that's all down to smoking and not exercising. So my exercise part is my next regime, and that's going to be baby steps as well, and I'll plan that hopefully just as good as I planned giving up smoking. So if you're thinking of doing the same, and I mean, you want to give it up for you, not for anybody else, if you want to give it up, then I really, really wish you all the very best and hope you succeed. And if you need any support or any help, reach out in the comments, and I can give you my experiences only, obviously, but I can recommend a lot of stuff, what vapes, what juices, what nicotines, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really do wish you all the best, and I hope you succeed. And for this motovlog, you know, thanks for sticking around this long. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you for watching the videos. So I'm going to get off at home now. I think this battery's going to run out anyway on the camera, and I will see you in the next motovlog, guys. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.